Welcome back to another video. My name is Gordon Frayne, and today we're diving into our Bitcoin and cryptocurrency weekly update. We are less than 10 hours away from the Bitcoin Halving 2024, a seminal event that happens only once every 4 years, and we're going to be taking a look at all the market updates from the past 7 days. As always, before we jump into the content, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button below if you enjoy it. Hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to our first 1,000 subscribers, and we're getting very, very close. And hit that bell notification icon so you can get notified every time we drop a new video. We are dropping multiple videos every single week, so you're going to want to get notified when we have price predictions, weekly updates, and all the other content so you can hit your crypto goals. So, jumping into the movements and market updates for the past week or so, it has been a very interesting week. We saw a dip in Bitcoin and the overall market cap over the past 7 days for sure, with Bitcoin going as low as 59,000, dropping under that $60,000 mark a few days ago. As of today, Friday, April 19th, we are sitting at about 64,000 Bitcoin here right now. Ethereum is back up over the $3,000 mark as well. It dropped below 3K a few days ago. Also, we've got BNB, again, still ahead and performing slightly better than Solana in terms of overall market cap. So, looking at the overall market cap over the past week or so, we did see a dip from about 2.55 trillion last Friday to about 2.34 trillion as of right now, or 2.32. So we are down on the week ever so slightly. We did drop even lower, as you can see here, down to 2.22, and again a small dip last night again, all the way down to 2.19 trillion, but bouncing back up and sitting above 2.3 trillion overall market cap for Friday, April 19th here. And obviously, given the blood on the streets over the past 7 days, we have far more losers than gainers due to the fact that the entire market has seen that drop. So in terms of gainers and winners, we do have a small few like Celestia, Akash Network, Ondo, and Eunice. We mentioned Ondo in one of our real world asset tokenization videos recently. You can check that out on the channel. But as you can see, only 4 gainers from the top 100 cryptocurrencies over the past 7-day time frame. The dip in the market tells a very different story for pretty much the other 96% of the top 100. We've got Ordi down 33%, other meme coins like Bonk down 25%, Floki down 23%, Optimism down 22%, Doge down 21%, Aave down 21%, Polygon and Avalanche down about 19% each. So lots of dips. I think everything dipped between 20 and 30% when we think about the majority of all the altcoins here. So definitely a market correction we saw in the past 7 days in the lead up to the Bitcoin halving, and the fear and greed index is reflecting those price movements. We are down to a score of about 66 as of today. We were up at about 80 just a couple of weeks ago, so we can see that price has been the metric here has been fluctuating for fear and greed, and we're all the way down to a score of 66. We were well into the 70s this time last week, and with that dip, we have seen the fear and greed index drop even further. But we are less than 10 hours away from the Bitcoin halving. It is upon us now, due to take place later tonight or in the early hours of tomorrow morning, April 20th, depending on your specific time zone. But yes, we are just 9 hours away from the Bitcoin halving event. As you know, if you've been following this channel, as you know, if you've been in this space for a while, the supply for miners that is issued on a daily basis, or the block reward, is getting dropped from 6.25 Bitcoin to 3.125 Bitcoin, meaning that there will be only 450 Bitcoin entering circulation every single day, whereas right now there is about 900 Bitcoin entering circulation every single day. So that number of Bitcoin that is going to be available on the market and entering circulation every single day with the mining reward is getting cut completely in half with a reduction in supply. And as always, as we will see in a moment, we do typically see new all-time highs for Bitcoin getting put in the 12 to 18 months after the halving event. This time around, we did see new all-time high prices for Bitcoin before the halving. We did peak above $72,000 just a couple weeks ago, which is a first for Bitcoin. However, as we will see in the moment when we analyze the other eras and the other halving sequences, we can see that we are expecting some upwards price movement over the next 12 to 18 months. In terms of Bitcoin dominance, we are sitting above 55.6% right now. We did get up above 56% last weekend when we saw some of that price action happening with Bitcoin and we saw alts completely tanking. Bitcoin did drop about 13, 14, 15%, but altcoins, as you can see, and as we saw a moment ago, the majority of the altcoins were dipping 20 to 30%, and we're seeing Bitcoin dominance rising because of that. So currently sitting at about 55.64% here today. Again, depending on how much buying pressure we can continue to see in the aftermath of the halving, and with the ETFs continuing to pump money in. We did see the approval of a Hong Kong Bitcoin ETF this past week also, so it will be very interesting to see where Bitcoin dominance can go if we continue to see flows from the US ETFs and how much of an impact the Hong Kong ETFs can have in Asia. When we look at the altcoin season index, again, given the fact that we're seeing Bitcoin dominance continuing to rise, it is more of a Bitcoin strong month than an altcoin strong month, of course. When we look at the top 50 performers over the past month, Bitcoin itself is down just 2.1% over a 30-day period. Over that 30-day period, we do have some of the better performers, including Mantle, including WIF as our meme coin, including ICP, Internet Computer. It's up 16.9% over 30 days. And then we've got BNB and Doge that are up about 3% each as well. But as you can see, the vast majority of everything over the past month for the top 50 cryptocurrencies are in the red. We've got, Runes, we've got AVAX, Pepe, Phantom and Uniswap all down about 33 to 37%. In the middle range here, we've got the likes of Ripple, Near Protocol, Fetch, all down about 15 to 20%. So again, given the market correction over the past 7 days, we have seen the top 50 performance drop, and we've seen much more red on the graph here than green. Moving on to the narratives, again, thinking about the narratives that have the best performance month to date for April specifically, we've actually got Friend Tech performing very well here. And again, looking at there's a project called Friend Tech specifically, and it's all to do with social finance. I need to do a bit more research on it myself, but very interesting stuff going on with being able to use social finance and a new form of social media where we can have wallets natively connected on the blockchain for communicating value. Ordinals performing well this month. Again, we've got a lot of hype around Ordinals and Runes launching with the new Bitcoin halving occurring later today, as well as Privacy performing pretty well over the month to date for April. Then the lower end of the things, we've got DEXs, DeFi, real yield derivatives performing or underperforming this month in April so far. Again, always worth keeping an eye on the different narratives that are performing well. We saw a big run up with meme coins last month, and if you were, paying attention, you could have made a lot of gains in that area. So always worth keeping an eye on the narratives and which narratives your assets are a part of. Finally, moving on to the Bitcoin ETFs. Again, what we have seen is continuous flows into the Bitcoin ETFs, but the amount of volume dropping off in the past week or so. We have seen continued sell-offs from Grayscale. They're pretty much down to just 300,000 Bitcoin being held by the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. This number was well above 600,000 on January 9th in the immediate before of the approval of the other 9 spot Bitcoin ETFs, and those 9 spot Bitcoin ETFs have continued to purchase and buy up anything that Grayscale has been dumping. However, BlackRock are still by far and away the leader here when it comes to the amount of Bitcoin purchased since the approval of these 9 new spot Bitcoin ETFs, currently holding 273,000. And in the coming weeks, we are likely to see BlackRock flipping Grayscale as the Bitcoin ETF that holds the most amount of individual Bitcoin. Fidelity is in second place with now over 152,000 Bitcoin. ARK Invest with almost 45,000, Bitwise with about 33,000, and then on the lower end of the table we've got Van Eck, Valkyrie, Invesco, Franklin Templeton, Wisdom Tree, and Hashdex with all less than 10,000 Bitcoin each, respectively. If we look at the Bitcoin purchases over time for each of these ETFs, again, this is the ETF holdings for all of the 9 new ETFs, excluding Grayscale. We are now up above 532,000 Bitcoin that have been accumulated by the 9 new ETFs in about 65 trading days. So remember, there are about 252 trading days in a year. So still about 75% of the trading days left in 2024, and we've already accumulated 532,000. Now, we have seen a little bit of a drop off, as you can see, with the sheer amount of inflows from the Bitcoin ETFs. We did see sell-offs over the past couple of weeks, as you can see, net sell-offs overall. Some of it from Grayscale, and some of the capital inflows over the past week have not been as strong, probably given some of the political tensions in the Middle East, as well as the market correction that we saw over the past 7 days. So again, we will probably see this begin to pick up again in the next few weeks. And if we can see continuous inflows over the course of the remaining 200 trading days left in 2024, we could be getting close to that 2 million Bitcoin mark being accumulated by the 9 new spot Bitcoin ETFs in the USA. Finally, moving on to the cycle low multiple, and again, what we're looking at here is basically the performance of Bitcoin over the past 3 cycles, or eras as they are called here on this chart. Day 0 in the middle here is the date of the Bitcoin halving, which is in fact today, and it will be happening within the next 10 hours. But what we're looking at here is Bitcoin's performance in the lead up to and aftermath of the Bitcoin halving for the previous 3 eras in blue, orange, and green. And then in red here, we've got the current era, or the current cycle, as we begin to approach this day 0 here right now. Again, the trend that we're seeing and looking at here with Bitcoin performance in the aftermath of the previous 3 cycles is parabolic movements to the upside in the 12 to 18 months after the halving event taking place. That's very clear and very clearly illustrated on the graph here. We saw exponential returns after the 2012 Bitcoin halving in blue. We saw great returns in 2016, and then great returns again in the aftermath of 2020, but the pattern here is that we have seen diminishing returns with each of these 3 previous cycles. Whether the diminishing returns for this particular cycle will continue remains to be seen, but the bolstering of the Bitcoin ETFs pumping huge amounts of funds into Bitcoin means that we did see a new all-time high for Bitcoin before the halving for the first time ever. And with available supply on exchanges being at an all-time low and continuing to diminish since the 2020 halving, means that we are seeing, much more demand with much less Bitcoin supply available. So potentially we could be seeing returns similar to Era 2 or the aftermath of the 2016 halving this time around. Again, as always, this is not financial advice, but we are here to make our best guess and our best judgment, and it'll be very interesting to see how price action plays out over the course of the next 12 to 18 months after the Bitcoin halving, which is taking place later today. So that is our Bitcoin market update for the past week. Today is April 19th, 2024. We are due to have the Bitcoin halving in less than 10 hours time. As you've seen demonstrated in the charts, we know what has happened in the aftermath of the 3 previous Bitcoin halvings. And if history is anything to go by, we are in for a lot of parabolic movement for Bitcoin to the upside over the next 12 to 18 months. It is a very exciting time to be in this space, and it is a very exciting day with the Bitcoin halving taking place later this afternoon. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button on your way out. It would mean the world. Again, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to subscribe. We are on the road to our first 1,000 subscribers, and it would mean the world if you did so. And hit that bell notification icon so you can get updated. We're dropping our weekly update every week on a Friday. We've got other price prediction videos and a whole bunch of tutorials on the channel with lots more content coming very, very soon. So you're going to want to get notified when all of that drops. So make sure to hit subscribe and make sure to hit that bell notification icon. As always, we will catch you in the next one.